This person's focused at this time on how lucky they feel to have met you. And this energy of your love reaches places inside me I didn't even know existed. They are questioning if they ever really knew what love was before, or if they thought they knew what love was, it was something very lukewarm and mediocre compared to what you have turned them on to. This is somebody who is very devoted to you, even at this stage in your connection. This is somebody that wants to provide stability and consistency so that things can develop very naturally between the two of you. But this is also somebody who recognizes that they don't want to take you or this connection for granted. And so they are focused on different ways in which they can show up a little more clearly for you, and ways in which they can also honor the process of the two of you. It feels like reaching beyond wounds, reaching beyond triggers, kind of experiences with one another in the good times. And then there's an energy of kind of like having to step back inside of yourselves in order to kind of dismiss old stories or narratives that show up in the form of guardedness or defensiveness, because this is somebody who recognizes there's a safe space for love that you are actively creating with one another in this moment in time that is very different from what that sense of safety looked like in previous romances. And perhaps even for them or for you, you were in romantic connections where that sense of emotional safety was absent altogether. And so there's almost like a learning curve where you're stepping, both of you, like into this different kind of experience that is redefining love. It's redefining feelings and emotions. And this is something that this person recognizes. The rule book that applied for other kinds of connections, it is something that is not necessary or even relevant in this circumstance. This is somebody that feels very inspired to take certain action steps to provide you with reassurances, and to also resist the urge or the temptation to kind of like give into triggers, old wounds, or even like defeatist thoughts and attitudes that may cause them to question the validity, the realness of what you're experiencing in this moment, because you have evoked this very genuine feeling inside of them in a way that nobody has done before. They feel a different version of them penetrating these layers where there had been almost like walls or blocks to imagining love that could feel safe, a love that could be an experience which wouldn't kind of require caution for when the shoe was going to drop, or the rug was going to be pulled out from under them. This is somebody who doesn't feel the inclination to flinch in your presence, but they feel very coaxed to lean in deeply. And so it feels like this is something that's helping this person to like actively step away from woundedness, or just kind of like a cautious attitude that they'd had towards the idea of love. There's a sense that they feel like relaxing in your presence, like in the energetic presence, in the moment, in these kind of like little steps that you take towards one another, which it feels like is a very different experience from past romantic situations where there was always a need to kind of like make effort in order to sustain or keep a connection going, or there was a lot of reason for them to kind of like pause, consider things, kind of like have to read between the lines. Maybe they were trying to align with people that it was opposites attract kind of energy, but with you they sense it's like attracts like. It is so easy to kind of open up to the infinite possibilities between the two of you. And so that's making this person very proactive to not just show up in the best way that they can, but to kind of like utilize this unique experience between the two of you as a way to kind of smooth out certain rough edges inside of themselves, emotionally speaking, because this is somebody that doesn't want to create hurt or confusion for you or for themselves in this situation. This is somebody that's very grateful to have this opportunity with you, and so it feels like they're kind of polishing up the interior aspects of the ways in which they're able to relate to you, or are open to receive love and affection, time, care, and attention from you, just in case there's anything within them that's kind of like left over from previous circumstances where they had to kind of like shut down emotionally for self-preservation, or things that they may recognize were kind of like the residual wounds of hurts, or times where they were like manipulated or misled in previous circumstances, that had caused them to kind of like be a little bit skeptical before trusting in love fully. You have shown up as a very different kind of person than what they're used to, but they also recognize that they had kind of like done some kind of work before your arrival in their life to like take accountability for things, to be very honest with kind of like where they went wrong in previous situations. Maybe it's the type of person they chose, or the experience that they had that wasn't their fault. It was just like something they went through, and healing then became their responsibility. This is somebody who has kind of like prepared for your arrival in their life without knowing it. And now that you're here, this is somebody that feels even more motivated to kind of let go of some of those coping mechanisms, so that they can really accept that invitation to step into the fullness of the experience of something that is very next level from anything that they've ever known before as far as romance and partnership is concerned. We also have, I want to be someone you can trust, someone who shows up and stays. Yeah, so it feels like this is somebody maybe that is kind of reading in your energy, that you've had people that like ghosted, dropped the ball, they like the idea of you, but the reality of you was intimidating. Maybe you dealt with manipulators, in the past. And so there's almost kind of like a sense of guardedness within you that you might not be able to tell is there, but it's like this person can read that. They can read you like an open book. And so they know a little something about that. This could also be somebody that is aware of a person or people that you dated in the past, and they know what kind of experience you went through, something where they know what kind of person that is. Maybe they saw things from like an observer stance, and so they're not just kind of looking at you as somebody who's like single and available right now, but they are looking at you as somebody who maybe survived some pretty rough chapters, emotionally speaking, romantically speaking. And so this is something where they're wanting to kind of like show up as a better version of themselves to make you feel kind of safe to come out of your shell. This is also somebody who is really wanting to kind of like, again, look within and, make sure that they are not kind of carrying around unnecessary sort of like wounds or residual patterns based on their previous experiences in romance, because they don't want to like punish you for somebody else's mistakes. So this is somebody that is trying very much to focus on the here and now, not listen to the inner critic, but at the same point in time, find ways in which they can kind of like show up for you, even just sort of subtly, that is beyond what you're expressing as like your outward needs at this point in time. And this is also somebody who's doing a lot of that internal work to make sure that when things just kind of naturally evolve to the next level between you, that they're ready for that they don't accidentally like push you away, that they don't get overwhelmed, that this is something where they're making those preparations now in anticipation of things developing further between you. Yeah, we also have, I want to build something real with you, something lasting, something whole. So again, this is somebody that is looking at long-term potential between the two of you. They don't just want to fling. They don't just want something quick. They don't just want something easy. This is somebody that understands good things take time. It takes time to build something lasting. So if you're somebody that's just looking for like a quick microwave kind of connection, then this is probably not the reading for you. But if you have that mindset as well, if you can kind of understand that, or that's a philosophy you embody as well, that, kind of like a masterpiece, like a work of art, good things take time. It isn't something that just happens overnight or quickly. Trust is slow to build between two people. Experiences accumulate, and then there's a better understanding of true compatibility. Love is something which grows slowly. It doesn't just happen in a flash, although it feels like this person is definitely, starting to fall in love with you. They're feeling something very deeply on an emotional level, but in terms of like the actual connection between you, This is somebody that is not in any kind of hurry to move forward very quickly. And this doesn't mean they're going to just like drag their heels and, you're going to be left in all this energy of indecision. This is somebody who is like savoring the moment, taking the time to kind of like sip up every single bit of the experience between the two of you, because they see that there is something long term here. And so it's kind of like, okay, if there's an inevitability, or you are that person that I want like something real, something special with, then why wouldn't we enjoy this period of like building up to that? Why wouldn't we make the most of this experience in romance? If you're the person that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, potentially, what's the hurry to kind of get to that point where everything is kind of like this neat and tidy sort of connection between the two of us? Like, they're enjoying kind of the chaos of the unknown at this point, kind of learning and discovering things about you, going off on these little side quests inside of themselves to try to show up as a better lover, as a better human being. This is somebody who is definitely inspired to kind of like pull out all the stops as far as romance is concerned. Things that they had never been inspired or motivated to do in other partnerships, they're doing that here with you. And that might even just be like putting their own sort of like desires on hold in order to kind of like wait for you to warm up to them, to let your guard down, your defenses down very naturally, something that they can kind of see or anticipate within you. They're putting their own needs to the side to make sure that you understand that this is somebody who like really cares about you, is there for you, not just when it's kind of like, you're giving in and they're getting what they want, but something when, you're making a little more of a challenge, you're playing hard to get, or you're even just having like a tough time or a slow process of kind of like settling into this moment in time now, that real love is here. A better experience than you've had maybe ever before is here with this person. They're anticipating that. They're understanding that. They're reading that need within you in ways you might not even know about yourself. So this is definitely somebody that wants something long term with you, and they want to take their time doing it right and getting to that place where it fits together beautifully between the two of you. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.